Greetings, YouTube. I have taken a break from grading my online class where I'm actually, believe it or not, getting college students to start their own YouTube channels, which has been a ton of fun for the first time in my career. We've had people do cooking channels, makeup channels, exercise channels, vlogs, even video game channels that are absolutely nothing like Marvel Contest of Champions. But I say that to say I'm taking this opportunity to make a video that I'm going to post this afternoon / early evening, depending on where you're viewing this, because I have been convicted. When I receive criticism, it's not easy, you know? It's much more flattering to have somebody message me and be like, "Hey, Prof, I love your channel. Keep up the good work." Than, "Hey, Prof, your channel doesn't apply to me most of the time because you don't talk about my alliance in the ways that we need, and you really are ignoring a huge issue in the contest for the MCOC middle class players, so to speak." You know, when I got that criticism, and I've received it twice in the past month, at first I want to be like, wow, it's kind of a jerk thing to do, you know, to reach out to somebody and take the time to send them that kind of message. But if I'm not being overly sensitive toward being criticized, there's some truth to that. I spend many of my videos talking about ranking up 5- and 6-star champions because I tend to think that that is the important issue with so many rosters. And what I do, and the mistake I make in that mindset, is that I really am ignoring the fact, or really downplaying the fact, that even in 2019, with all the resources available, it is still very difficult for the average summoner, particularly if you're on the free-to-play side or at least on the low-spin side, to take a 4-star champ to rank 5, or for that matter, even a 5-star champ to rank 3. Let's remind ourselves, shall we, what it takes resource-wise for that to happen. Let's start with 4 stars, right? If I want to take my Gwenpool to rank 5, I'm going to need 5 Tier 4 basics, 2 Tier 1 alphas, and 3 Tier 4 class catalysts of that specific class. Of course, the hardest part in this process is acquiring the 3 Tier 4 class catalysts of that champion's class. It still is extremely difficult for so many summoners. And interestingly enough, the 3 Tier 4 class catalyst is the magic number as well for taking a 5-star to rank 3, as I will show you when I scroll down. Let's say that I'm going to take this. It's going to be a hella awesome rank 3 opportunity. Keep in mind, I am going to also need 3 Tier 4 Cosmics, but sadly, the thing that frustrates me the most about ranking up 5 stars is the Tier 1 Alpha issue, because it takes 5 or almost half of your inventory, and you can still only hold 12, a number that also makes no sense to me, as it was basically created when 3 and 4 stars were relevant, not 5 and 6-star champions. So that's kind of a side note. I could spend, a 3-hour video on all the different areas of the game that need improvement, especially in the inventory allotment sake. But that's not what today's video is about. Today's video is about how can I, as a quote-unquote middle-class MCOC summoner, how can I gain the resources, particularly the Tier 4 class catalyst, needed to take a 4-star to rank 5 or a 5-star to rank 3 in Marvel Contest of Champions? So I want this to be a combo answer. First and foremost, let's talk about the awesome difference between 2019 MCOC and when I started playing this in 2015. Check this out. We got this awesome daily login calendar. On day 28 of this month, as in most months, you have the opportunity to get a free Tier 4 class catalyst crystal. I'm talking 2 years into the game, Kabam was still asking summoners to spend well over 1,000, sometimes 2,000 to 3,000 units, $100 worth of units, for a chance at one of these, because that's how valuable they were when you try to take up the White Whale herself, Scarlet Witch, to rank 5, or Black Widow, or OG Thor, or Doctor Strange, or Wolverine, you know, the best of the best champions before patch 12.0. We get this for free now every month. That is to be appreciated and applauded. It's one of the best things that Kabam has done in the evolution of the game. Which, speaking of the evolution of the game, I would be remiss to not discuss with you the Glory Store, something that has not existed for very long, but is a huge help. Now, even though it is not the best value by any means for your glory, I have known people, especially once you get to that magic number of 2 of 3, it can be so torturous to just need 1 Tier 4 class catalyst to finally take that 4-star blade to rank 5, or that 4-star Scarlet Witch to rank 5. If you use your glory and you snatch this up, that's going to help you. Again, not the best value for your glory, but every little bit helps. If you want to take a gamble or a risk, you're going to want to purchase the greater glory crystal, because if you hit the jackpot and land on the class of your choice, or really the class that you're trying to get, because keep in mind this is the 1 out of 6 RNG-based, not generic-based gem, it's going to be worth your glory, but you also could easily burn 400 getting something else. Keep in mind, I have seen time and time again from so many different sources that the Kabam algorithm, especially for Tier 4 Class Catalyst crystals, is going to give you often the classes that you have the most of in your inventory, and the ones that you have the least of, it's going to know internally. Those are the ones you need, so we're going to make it extra hard for you to land on them in your crystals, and that can be extremely frustrating and unfortunately all too common. One of the reasons why I tell summoners you really want to become uncollected and eventually Cavalier, it's the daily crystal opportunity. I am almost to month 3 of my Cavalier opening. When I get to 30, that's my magic number to open a month worth. But you can, in fact, get an extremely high percentage drop rate for adding Tier 4 Class Catalyst fragments. I get those probably more than anything besides Tier 4 basic fragments out of these. And that goes for what used to be the daily uncollected crystals before I upgraded to Cavalier. These things add up fast, and they are not to be overlooked because you get them for free every day. This is another reason why you really want to push, especially before July 4th, to at least become uncollected, if not be in a great position to become Cavalier. Now, besides that, you'll notice that I have these Tier 4 Class Catalyst fragment crystals, which I have hoarded and just made Kabam Mike lose sleep over because of all my unhealthy behavior, thanks in large part to Map 5. The single biggest difference between my roster growth in my time of Marvel Contest of Champions was leaving the people that I really enjoyed talking to, my Map 3 and Map 4 alliance, and doing all I could to push to have the skills and the roster and the resources to play Map 5. Even if you only do Map 5 once a week, if you find an alliance that does Map 5, say it's day 1 where the PI of your enemies is the lowest, so it's not going to be as difficult, and you run Map 4 and maybe Map 3 the rest of the days. That's still going to be a huge difference in resources, not only by the end of the week for your Alliance Quest rewards, but also just your daily rewards. They're going to add up so fast. I always ask people who message me and they say they're stuck progressing their roster, particularly their 4-star roster. What Alliance Quest does your Alliance run? And quite often they'll say, we just run a little bit of Map 4 and mostly Map 3. That's not going to progress you as you want. If you want to relax and if you want to take the game kind of casually, that's great. Stay in the Alliance. But if you're like me, when I used to be in that situation, you want to progress, but maybe quite a few people in your Alliance, even though you're good friends with them, don't want to progress. They're fine. They're content staying where they're at. That's fine for them. But let me give you some hard truth. That means you got to move on. That means you got to find a better alliance that suits your needs, that upgrades to harder Alliance Quest maps, but better rewards. And Map 5 to me is the sweet spot, especially given the changes recently in Alliance Quest. Map 5 is the map that takes a small amount of donations, but maximizes a great amount of rewards, particularly even battle chips. You know, those tend to add up fast as well with those daily battle chip rewards. So the bottom line is this. You want to do a combination of taking advantage of the daily calendar, daily login crystals, pushing yourself to at least become uncollected, hoarding things like Tier 4 Class Catalyst crystals until it's time to open them. Heck, even, I should point out, one of the things I love to do is to sell, because I grind so much in daily events that I just have an abundance of them. Sell Tier 4 Class Catalyst. Right now, I can sell 4 of them for 720, right? That's pretty important. And what I've done, people always ask me, Prof, why do you have so many crystals that are unopened? You see this 4,000 number. Well, it's very deceiving because it's mostly like a third of it's the same crystal. When I go down, 1940, good year, Tier 3 Class Catalyst fragment crystals. I get these things so often that they're just raining constantly, and I don't open them. Occasionally, when I need to form a Tier 3 Class Catalyst, I'll open it. That's a couple times a year. I could open all of those and just sell them. and have that be really a great source of Tier 4 class catalyst fragments, but I won't because of the inventory limits. But that's another great source of Tier 4 class catalyst fragments. So the bottom line, as I've said before, if you are doing all those things and you are ready to push yourself, try to go for a Map 5 alliance. Even if at first it's just one battle group and you're not that battle group, you're going to want to be with like-minded people who are trying to progress their roster as fast as you are, and that's going to make the biggest difference. You'll be amazed at the jump of your roster between Map 5 Alliance Quest rewards and Map 4, and especially Map 3, versus what you might have been doing for, who knows, years before this. So I hope this video has helped those of you that are struggling to take your 4 stars to rank 5, and maybe even your 5 stars up a rank. I can't promise that I'm going to do these videos very often because I still think the majority of the community that I interact with on a daily basis benefits most from trying to push for 5-star and 6-star champions and the inventory resources that it takes. But every once in a while, it's good to talk about 4 stars, especially the issue of getting enough Tier 4 class catalyst to take that 4-star to rank 5. Thanks for watching and supporting my Marvel Contest of Champions YouTube channel. As always, I appreciate your support. Have a fantastic day.